I'm Usman Hani from Pakistan, and I've been living here. I was born and brought up here in Qatar. I'm age 25, so all my life I have spent over here. And I went to Pakistan to complete my graduation. I got my bachelor's degree from there, from National University of Emerging Sciences, Lahore, and I graduated in Bachelor's of Business Administration, and specialty marketing. Like my final course, major course was marketing, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right. So, did you have any particular training for this job or education in PR?
Uh, I mean, in at network, the best part is when you join in, you get in-house training from the director itself, and our director he has over 30 years of experience working with multinationals. So considering that, I got full-fledged in-house training on PR, on marketing research, on social media, digital marketing. So because when you are working for PR, you need to integrate traditional mediums with in the digital and look for new innovations as well in the public relations. And before that, I worked as a content developer for some other company, and I worked on a project for Qatar Petroleum International as a web developer. Content developer for for their website. I took interviews and all of that stuff. And in Pakistan, I did a job for Bullseye 360 degree. I managed one of the leading telecom communications over there as the basic. That was very basic level. I was working for their public relations, and as just an executive, I learned too much from my colleagues over there. And same here. With exposure, with working for different projects, you learn different things, and this is how I learn things, and that's it.
And how did those jobs collectively help you be better at your current job at
Yeah,
Network?
I would like to share an experience here. When I worked for Qatar Petroleum International for the content developer, it was not a success story for me. Rather, they eventually took someone else in because the level they were looking into, I did not match their level. So from there, I got another. You learn from your failure. So I got this inspiration, and I further studied on what is the right way to develop a content and like the best practices basically. So from there, I learned different things, and over the time period, still I'm learning different things. This is very. I'm very much in the beginning of my career.
I see. Uh, Compare your previous jobs that you just told me about to your current job. How is it different? How is it the same?
The difference is this is as I mentioned before. This is next step. Previously, it was into more of business development, and it has some multifacets as well because of my personal skills. So right now, my specialty is I'm working as an account manager. So in account manager, you need to have public relations skills. You need to have marketing skills, marketing research skills. So right now, I'm very much specific in these target areas. Previously, it was all generic. You need to work on sales. You need to work on content developer. You need to work on marketing, developing proposals. So right now I'm very specific. I have to four clients. So I'm targeted to do research. It was a complete package now I'm working on.
hmm So you're talking about the complete package here. What duties and responsibilities does this complete package bring?
For example, if I get a new project, let's say recently, if you heard about Barba Village Shopping Festival,
hmm
so I was the project manager for that. So the first thing was to conceive the whole festival. I should have a bird eye view, helicopter view on the whole project. And the most important part again, why we had this festival, because there was no awareness. So for awareness, you need to have you need to formulate a PR strategy. You need to work with the marketing department of of Barwa management. I worked with them. So finalized. Worked on the marketing strategy and PR strategy, and we after that, obviously some marketing research is there. Marketing research is one of the most important part of public relations. Until unless you have the clear insights of what your customers are, what is the problem, where does the problem lie. All you need to take care of all these factors, and based on that you develop on your public relations, strategy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Uh, what part of this work do you find most interesting,
Most
and
interesting?
why?
Well, it's the success part. When you see the results, people going to the festival, or people falling for the product you actually did the work on, and the client coming back to you and saying thank you, and it was amazing response we got. So that part, no wonder how you have worked 24 hours a day, non-stop. But when you hear these things and see the results, so it overcome everything, every hard work, and you really relish that particular moment.
Mm-hmm. So the hard work.
Do you have any
What's the most
education
challenging
in PR?
part of being
Training
a
in PR?
PR person?
I think the management of, let's say, crisis situation. Crisis situation in this sense, again, I will relate to my recent project, that was Barba Village Shopping Festival. Here in Qatar, the big problem is you need to take care of the journalists over here. The media is controlled. It's not independent. So during the press launch, I won't mention the name of the journalist. He came to us and he said, take him in as a consultant. But we just we never took it seriously. After the first week, not even first week, I would say 5 days of the festival, witnessing a press release that is saying it was the Barba Village Shopping Festival is a failure. It's solely like irresponsible journalism, I would say. This is without seeing the facts, without asking any questions from us. And how come you reach this? So from there, managing we need to redesign, redefine the whole PR strategy what we were working on. So I think that was the most. That is the most challenging part when you have to work on the crisis situation.
Mm-hmm. And how closely do you work with the management?
Yes.
Say the management of your own company, the management of the other company, the clients.
Again, PR department cannot work alone until unless, because what we do is we basically are. We are the second last part. The first part is the marketing departments. They know what their customers are. We are there to help them support their message, purport their message. For example, we need to be in contact with their marketing department, with our marketing specialist, what we have, brand specialist we have in our companies. So what we get the information, we need to define the problem statement. Until unless you have the problem statement, you cannot define a PR strategy. So from where we get the problem statement, we get it from the marketing department. So you need to be together when you are working on a PR strategy. Without marketing department or without their senior management, you cannot reach, cannot achieve your goal when you talk from the point of view of public relations.
Mm-hmm. Walk me through a typical day at your job.
Typical day.
Typical day as a PR person.
As a PR person, basically, most of the time it's writing content, developing, taking care of the research. Monitoring is another part of the most important part of the public relations. You need to monitor all the campaigns, all the press releases, what response you are getting, and especially with the advent of this social media, digital media, you immediately get responses. So you need to tackle each and every one of them. And when you get the responses, based on those responses, you develop the next step basically. So until unless this is a positive aspect what we can see in Qatar now. From the previous 2 years, it was like there was no. The social media aspect was not there too much in it, but now it's getting in. All the mediums are integrated now. If we recently had a study and from Social Hub. And now over 70% of Qatar population, they are, very active on Facebook. I think around 800,000 plus. Mm-hmm. And 300,000 to 400,000 are Qataris locals. So basically, they're getting into it. So now we have to make sure each and everything is going, having the same noise. Not it's not like some newspapers are talking something different, and social media we are not taking care of. If we lose on social media, then we lose on, the importance of traditional newspapers, because Qataris mostly they are not on the elder age. They don't take care of social media. They still look for newspapers. So we have to do, research every now and then and make sure all our brand messages are in line with what our consumers are looking for or all the stakeholders are looking for.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're talking about one public relations project that went particularly well. What was one project that went well?
I guess I think I mentioned before about the reconciliation thing, from where we came, what we planned, and then we were in a crisis situation, and then our next step, like how we resolved that crisis situation. I think that was a big achievement for network as a whole, and for Barwa as well, because they really supported us in this, because we were the project owners. It was our standalone project. Although they asked us to carry out, but it was eventually we planned, we carried out, we conceived the project. Mm-hmm. So I think the way we, the end result was pretty good for us financially, as well as from redefining the image of Barwa village as a whole. So we were very content, and I think it could be, you can say it as per the experience I have. So one of the biggest achievement, I would say.
Mm-hmm. What about a job or a project that did not work out as planned?
Recently there was a bad incident that happened in Aqua Park. A kid was drowned. In the beginning of the season, I think it was April, May, between April and May. So that was really, really tough. I won't say it was failed because of the when minister gets involved, so the things get we can press the bad incidents, but it was not a success story for us as a whole, because it was, firstly, you cannot cover up what happened exactly over there, with whatever reasons you put forward. A death is a death. Mm-hmm. So we were not able to, it was not from our side fault, but the facilities the client have mentioned to us, we were putting forward those facilities in our press statement. But eventually, when you go and witness the live thing over there, it's different. It's not exactly the same what the clients were mentioning. So that was bad for us as a whole.
And what did you learn from that experience?
Firstly, it was a very sad incident, and the learning was, be straightforward. Whatever you have, just portray those things. Don't add up those things which in reality don't exist. So after that, we really boosted up the lifeguard system over there. The overall operations, the operations manager resigned because he lagged in some of the. He had all the resources, or if not all of the resources, 90% of the resources, but he was not able to manage them in the right way. So there were some internal changes afterwards.
Mm-hmm. What would you say are the key skills of a good public relations practitioner?
Three, four things, very important. Good communication skills, verbal and written. Learn as many languages as you can. It will definitely add up to your benefits. Then you should be cool-headed all the time. More flexible. If you are looking for a job of 9 to 5 or 7 to 4, like the government jobs, public relations is not for you. You need to be active, say 16 hours or 18 hours a day. And you should have this ability to build on relationships, especially with your stakeholders. The media is there, the customers are there, and because the customers, they always complain. Even if you give them 100%, they will some of them will complain. So you should be cool-headed in a way, you should be able to absorb their complaints and come up in a refreshing manner and answer those complaints.
Mm-hmm. To wrap up, why don't you tell me, give me and I guess the future PR people some advice about practicing PR?
I would like to toss up 4 terms here. The first one is research, relationships, and content, and monitoring. Now, if you want me to explain, I will say in one line for all of them. The first one is research. Make sure before publishing any content, look around what's been published, what's been said. Look into your competitors as well if you are working for a brand, because most of the time why people are always looking into for press public relations, especially in Qatar. The trend is on a big time high. People are companies are recruiting new agencies, PR agencies, just to make sure they don't lag in terms of coping up with the competitions. So you need to always keep an eye on on your competitors. Then comes what exactly is your product and what is your target market. So research from a 360-degree point of view. Not only you look into your competitors or you forget your customers. You need to take care of your customers. All the stakeholders.
Mm-hmm.
Then comes after research is relationships. You need to build relationships with all the stakeholders. Again, comes media, journalists, your customers, your client. So all of this you need to take care of. Then comes the monitoring. Monitoring is as important as when you're writing something, you should take care of the monitoring part as well. You yourself should take care of the monitoring part, because only then you will know how effective your press release or your PR strategy was. Until unless you have some results in front of you, some authentic, some credible results, you cannot say your PR strategy was a success. For Barba Shopping Festival, we were able, after the crisis, we were able to manage a media campaign or press campaign of 1.5 million reals. It was 3 to 4 weeks time. So that was a big. When we presented our client with these figures, they were really impressed. And the last part is the content. Content is the mother of everything. If you are not able to generate a good content, then no point of having as many. You write as many press releases. If it is not relevant, if it is not credible, if the customers, for example, if I am reading it and I don't see any logic in it, or I'm not able to understand the content, so it's of no use. So you need to know your target market, and based on that, you develop your content.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much. That was a very good chat.
Thank you so much.
And,
Pleasure.
It was nice having you.
Thank you. That's it.